Morning, everybody. I am Ludovica, currently working for the EU Business Hub, the Japan and Republic of Korea project, and I'm here today with my colleagues Paolo and Antoine, who will introduce themselves as we progress through the presentation, presenting the Smart Energy Week Spring 2026 business mission. Thank you so much, Paolo, for the slides. I think we can just go ahead and already provide an overview of the agenda of today. So we will start with an overview of the EU Business Hub program, then proceed with some market trends and market opportunities in the green and low carbon technologies market in Japan. And then we will introduce the details of, as I said before, Smart Energy Week Spring 2026, the business mission we are all interested in potentially joining. Then we will present the eligibility criteria and see how you guys, the companies, can apply to the mission. Finally, we will provide some tips and tricks for a successful application, and we will conclude the session with a Q&A. So don't hesitate to, if you have any questions at any point during the presentation, you can leave them already in the chat, and we will make our best to reply, or you can just wait until the end of the presentation to ask any questions you might have. I think we can indeed start. So the objective of today is to provide you with as many information as possible on the program. So indeed, don't hesitate if you have any questions. As you can see from the slide, we will start with a brief history overview of the program. The EU Business Hub is a long-standing initiative for B2B cooperation between the European Union and Asia. It started in Japan many years ago with a pilot program, and then the Gateway to Japan program. And now it has evolved, as you can see, focusing on Japan still, Republic of Korea, and through the years has gone through many different countries as well. As I mentioned, it's a very long-standing program, so I think some of you might have heard of previous projects, especially the Gateway to Japan or the EU Business Avenues project. The EU Business Hub is just a continuation of this initiative, and very interestingly for you to know is the fact that the team currently working for the EU Business Hub is also the same team who worked in previous editions of the program. So we are really aiming to build on the previous experiences and previous network in order to offer the best experiences to our participants. If you can go to the next slide, the EU Business Hub is a EU-funded program that supports EU small and medium-sized enterprises, so SMEs and startups, focused in three markets: the green market, digital, and healthcare sector, in order for them to enter the markets of Japan and the Republic of Korea. The aim of the program is over the duration of 4 years, so between 2024 and 2027, to organize 10 business missions to Japan and 10 business missions to the Republic of Korea in order to allow 50 innovative companies to be selected to participate. The target of these missions is diverse and innovative companies that are active, as I mentioned before, in the three key sectors, so the green and low carbon technologies, digital solutions, and healthcare and medical equipment. For this business mission here, Smart Energy Week Spring, as the name suggests, we will be focusing on the green and low carbon technologies sector. And this means also all the relative subsectors. So for instance, hydrogen, solar, wind, smart grid, environmental monitoring, and many more. But Paolo will go into more details later. The aim of the program, as I mentioned, is to participate to give the opportunity to these 50 selected companies to start their internationalization journey in the two key markets, so Japan and the Republic of Korea, through 20 business missions, 10 to Japan and 10 to the Republic of Korea, between 2024 and 2027. Now, if you can go to the following slide, again, this is just summing up what I just mentioned, the three different sectors to two different countries. And maybe one caveat is, we are here today for a presentation on Japan. It's important to mention that for our missions to Japan, we are currently targeting 2 out of the 3 subsectors, as you can see from the picture. So we will target the digital solutions and the green and low carbon technologies, while Korea, the Republic of Korea, currently has missions on all the three sectors. So healthcare and medical equipment, digital solutions, and also green and low carbon technologies. If we can move forward, the objective of the program is detailed here. So trade facilitation, of course, we want to facilitate trade and business cooperation with the Japanese and the Republic of Korea counterparts, and aligning them closely with the objectives and opportunities presented by the green and digital partnerships in Japan. We offer SME support, so provide tailored assistance to the selected European companies, especially SMEs and startups, and building their business connections in Japan and the Republic of Korea, or also amplifying or strengthening the existing connections. We want to promote the European brand. We want to promote the visibility and the presence of European businesses in the respective markets. And finally, we also, like part of the objectives and what we offer is the support of European companies in gaining a better understanding of the local business culture, market rules, and practices in order to enhance access and facilitate access to the Asian markets. Paolo, if you can continue. This is a little timeline of the business missions that we've had so far in Japan. So as you can see, we started already in 2024 with a business mission focused on semiconductors that we will have again later this year in December. And as you can see, in 2026, the first business mission we will have is Smart Energy Week Spring 2026, from the 16th to the 19th of March, taking place in Tokyo. And as you can see, this business mission will be the second edition, as we already had one prior this year in 2025. And we also had in autumn, now in September, the autumn edition of Smart Energy Week. So this is like a tried and true business mission that we've had many successful experiences with, so we want to advertise again. Also, as you can see from the timeline, I mean, if you can go back one slide, we will also have more business missions taking place in Japan in 2026 and 2027. And as soon as we will have the finalized schedule, we'll be able to share it with interested participants. So I take the occasion to advertise a little bit our website, so you don't miss any of our news. And also, if you subscribe to our newsletter, you'll also be updated with all the latest news. Now, if we can move forward, briefly on the benefits for the participating companies. This is a very important slide that I take the occasion to really take my time and detail. So the participating companies, hopefully some of you, benefit from a range of benefits during the business mission, as well as during the preparation of the mission. The aim of our mission is to equip all participating companies with the information and know-how they require in order to have the most successful mission. This means providing you with briefings on doing businesses in Japan, market intelligence information in the specific sectors, as well as on-site industry and sectoral briefings while already in Japan in order to facilitate interactions with the relevant stakeholders. Following, part of the program offers pre-arranged business matching meetings. So this means that once selected, we have a dedicated team, a matchmaking team active in Japan that will take care of you in the sense that we'll make sure to investigate your company, get to know your company and your products in order to tailor the business meetings that you might have, so that once you get to Japan, you already have some interesting business meetings for you. And then once you will be at the fair, you can just build on these existing meetings to even broaden even more your opportunities. Indeed, as I mentioned, part of the business mission is actually exhibiting at Smart Energy Week Spring. So we will have 3 days of exhibition. You will be able to exhibit in the EU pavilion. So you will have physically a booth to showcase your solutions and your products. And as I mentioned before, you'll be able to benefit from the EU brand in order to attract even more visitors. We also offer logistical support. such as help with booking the hotel, networking receptions, interpretation services while at the fair, in order to make sure that there are no language barriers between you and the Japanese counterparts and stakeholders. We will also take care of creating a catalog. So a catalog of all the 50 participating companies with your products and descriptions that we will be distributing both online and on paper at the fair. As I mentioned before, we offer help with booking the hotel, but also we offer financial coverage of the hotel. So the program covers up to €1,000 of accommodation. So 4 nights, 1 room per company during the business mission week at the partner hotel. And also, as part as our financial support, we financially support you, or in the purchase of customized services. Customized services are all those services that you can purchase prior to the business mission to enhance your participation. So, for instance, you can purchase booth decorations to embellish your booth and make it more attractive to the Japanese counterparts. You can purchase printing, translation services, and this will be reimbursed at the 80% rate up to 1,000 program. Up to 1,000 euros. So a very comprehensive set of benefits. The only thing that is left out is the price of the flight, that and as it is envisioned for the company to bear. If we can move to the next slide, I will give the floor to my colleague Antoine, who will be going over the market opportunities in the green and low carbon technology sector in Japan.
Thank you, Vika. So, hello everyone, I'm Antoine. I'm based in Japan, and I work in the Japanese unit for the business mission. I have to apologize as a first opening remark, because I'm going to have to leave the session after the presentation. So if there is any questions regarding what I'm going to present, please feel free to post any questions that you may have during the chat, so we have a chance to answer and revert after the call. Okay, so what I will do from now is to provide some overview of the Japan green and low carbon sector. So I will highlight key subsectors, trends, challenges, and as well opportunity for collaboration. Okay, so what I can say first is that you may all know or not know, but Japan has a commitment to achieve carbon neutrality by 2050, and what we observe is that it has created a dynamic landscape for innovation and investment, and this is especially true for renewable energy, electric vehicles, hydrogen energy, and energy storage. Okay, so I will dive in a bit more into detail from now on. So let's talk about first the renewable energy subsector. So what we observe is that Japan has made a significant investment in solar, wind, and geothermal energy projects, which is, as I said earlier, driven by the 2050 carbon neutrality goal. On this subsector, you have key companies such as JERA, SoftBank Energy, Oris Corporation, and Kyocera. And the trends that we see in this sector, it includes expansion of offshore wind farms and floating solar projects. Okay, in terms of challenges, we can say that there are some challenges that remains, such as high initial investment costs and land constraints, because, as you may know, Japan lacks of space. So for large-scale installation, it's a bit challenging in Japan. But to be positive, we see some collaboration opportunities that are underway. Because you can see some companies such as Oryx and SoftBank, which are partnering with the European SMEs on solar and wind projects. Okay, so this was for the renewable energy. Now I'm going to discuss the electric vehicles subsector. So in this sector, you have companies which are well known, such as Toyota, Nissan, Mitsubishi, Honda, and all these companies are actually accelerating the EV production and research, and there is strong support from the government subsidies and incentives. In terms of trends, so you have increased adoption of electric vehicles and advancement in battery technology, but same as for the other sectors, some challenges are persisting. For example, you have at the moment insufficient EV charging infrastructure, and the cost for battery production is still relatively high. So that poses a challenge in this sector. In terms of collaboration, so we see potential to collaborate with Japanese automakers to expand the EV charging networks and the mass platforms. So that will allow to create a more sustainable mobility ecosystem. Let's move on to the hydrogen now subsector. So this is a key focus for Japan, and Japan aims to lead the sector globally. You have companies such as Kawasaki EV Industries, Iwatani Corporation, Toyota, and they all act to advance green hydrogen production and fuel cell technology. In terms of trends, you have a growing adoption of hydrogen-powered vehicles and industrial application. However, in terms of challenge, there is high production and transportation costs, and this goes along with limited hydrogen refueling infrastructure. So these are the main challenge for this subsector. But in terms of collaboration, we see good collaboration actually, like Kawasaki's partnership with EU startups on the green hydrogen production, and we think that is paving the way for innovation in this space. The last subsector, so this is energy storage. So we see a growing demand here due to the adoption of renewable energy. You have companies such as Panasonic, NEC, Toshiba, which are focusing on lithium-ion batteries and energy storage systems. So here the trends, it includes integration with renewable energy for grid stabilization and advancement in battery recycling. And the challenges here, they include resource dependency for raw materials, especially like lithium, cobalt, and as well as effective battery waste management. We see good collaboration again on this sector. So you have a collaboration between Panasonic and Toshiba, who are co-developing a battery with EU innovators, and that showcase potential for international partnership in this sector. So in terms of more specifically collaboration and opportunities, so the first good news for EU companies is that Japan is opening more and more for collaboration with international partners, and that creates, of course, exciting opportunities for you. So right now, so you have existing partnership in renewable energy, hydrogen, energy storage, as I mentioned to you earlier. And that demonstrates the success of combining, I would say, Japanese expertise with the EU innovation. And to go a bit more further regarding the example I provided you, so you can see that there are some success stories. The first one that comes to mind is Danish Ørsted and Japanese JERA, who have partnered to expand offshore wind capacities. And you also have Nelasa, the Norwegian companies, and the Japanese companies Iwatani, who are advancing the hydrogen refueling infrastructure. And moving forward, we think that there is strong potential in areas like smart grids, where, for example, the EU SMEs in IoT and AI can help maybe optimize Japan's renewable energy grids. And additionally, we also think that it's not mentioned here, but you may have a potential partnership in circular economies technologies, and have some new avenues, I would say, for further collaboration between Japan and foreign companies, including the EU. Okay, so as a closing remark, I would say that there is a very good environment for the EU companies to partner with Japanese companies on the market. Especially, we see that there is some government support. So we can here refer to the two Trade Green Innovation Fund, combined with the high-tech market demand and sustainability-driven consumers, which creates, I would say, a fertile ground for the EU-Japan partnerships. And again, the success stories that we see between Japan and the EU companies are a good indicator that if we can build on the success, the collaboration has a great potential to drive innovation and achieve shared sustainability goals. Okay, so overall, very good timing for EU companies to explore the Japanese market. Okay, so that ends my presentation. Again, if there are some slides, some questions, please feel free to post them in the chat, and we'll make sure that we answer to you on a timely manner. So thank you very much for your attention, and we will go to the next section, and I will leave the floor to Paolo.
Thank you so much, colleagues. Yes, now let's move into the specific business mission we are presenting now, the EU Business Hub at Smart Energy Week Spring 2026. This business mission will take place in March 2026 from the 15th to the 19th in Tokyo, in Japan. All the participants of this business mission will receive tailored coaching support from the program from the moment that they are selected. So before embarking in the business mission to Tokyo, all these companies will be exhibiting at the EU Pavilion at Smart Energy Week 2026, the spring edition, for 3 days. This is also covered by the program. During the exhibition days, we'll also support them with a targeted promotion of their products and services. And all the participants will have 3 days of B2B matchmaking sessions and further opportunities to network with the local stakeholders at the trade fair and networking events organized in the framework of the program. And for this specific business mission, we are looking for European SMEs and startups involved in the renewable energy sector. This includes hydrogen energy, solar power, secondary battery, smart grid, wind power, biomass, and thermal power. So if you belong to any of these subsectors, you are more than welcome to apply to this business mission. And here we have the agenda of this business mission. It will be a 5-day business mission, as all of our business missions, but this one concretely will start on a Sunday and will finish on a Thursday. So on the first day, all the participants will be arriving in Tokyo, and they will have the opportunity to meet each other and organize the week. On the second day, we'll have the briefing sessions, study tours, and the business networking reception. And the following 3 days, companies will be exhibiting at the Smart Energy Week Spring 2026 at the EU Pavilion. And here we have some images of how the EU Pavilion looks like. As I mentioned, all the companies will be together at the EU Pavilion, but each company will have an individual booth. And here we have some pictures from our previous editions. The Smart Energy Week Autumn, these are pictures from. And so you can see how the companies will be exhibiting all together at the EU Pavilion, but each company is having their individual booth. And here you have some pictures from the previous editions on the Smart Energy Week Trade Fair in Tokyo, one of the key events in the green and low carbon technology sector. And here you can see the timeline of this business mission. Interested companies can submit the application form before 28th November. The application process has 2 steps, the expression of interest form and the application form, but we will go through it in a couple of minutes. Then in December, we'll have the communication of the selection results to applicants. So in January, the selected companies can have the pre-departure briefing to finally in March embark on the business mission to Tokyo. Now, how to apply to these business missions? First, let me make it clear that we do have eligibility criteria. This program is aimed at EU SMEs and startups that are looking for to expand into Japan and South Korea. And here we have 6 main requirements. The first one is in case of SMEs to exist for more than 5 years and be able to demonstrate 3 years on financial figures, and in case of startups to exist for more than 3 years and be able to demonstrate 2 years of financial figures. The second requirement is to be entirely or majority EU owned and have the headquarters in the European Union. The third is to be active and operational in one of the economic sectors covered by the program, either as a producer, subcontractor, or engineering company. But please note that business consultants are not eligible to participate in our business missions. The fourth point, this is a recommendation rather than a strict requirement, but is to have a proven track record of international business cooperation outside the European Union. The fifth point is to have a sufficient turnover and number of people employed to successfully enter the target market. And the last point is to have a solid business strategy for entering the Japanese and the Republic of Korea markets. We are aware that it's not easy to expand to these countries. That's why each SME and startup can participate in up to 3 business missions distributed between both target countries. This means that a company can participate in 2 business missions to South Korea and a third one to Japan, or 2 business missions to Japan and a third one to South Korea. Now, yes, if you are interested in this business mission, how to apply? Here we have the application process. Everything happens in our website, eubusinessapp.eu, and it's a very simple process. It just has a few steps. First is the registration. You can create a login on our website and simply create an account. You see these green boxes there? You can click there and you can create your own account by providing an email address, password, contact person details, company name, country, and a VAT number. Once you have your own account, you will see the business missions that are open for application at the moment. At this stage, you just need to select the business mission you want to participate in and submit the expression of interest form. In the expression of interest form, you will be requested to share information on your company details, contact person details, business activities, and motivations to participate in that business mission. Once the evaluation team receives that expression of interest, they will check if your company fulfills the 6 eligibility criteria that we just saw, and they will deem your company eligible or not eligible to participate in that business mission. If your company profile is deemed eligible, you will be invited to submit the application form. On the contrary, if your company profile is not deemed eligible for that specific business mission, you can always reach out for feedback, because your company can be eligible for another business mission. Please note that the expression of interest form is not the finalized application, because, as we mentioned, eligible companies will still need to submit the application form. Now, yes, the last steps for those companies that have been deemed eligible to participate, they will just need to log in on our website again and complete and submit the application form within the set deadline. Then all these applications will be assessed by independent experts using predefined criteria. And again, if your application is successful, you can always reach out for feedback, because you can be eligible and better suited for another business mission. Here, I just want to highlight 3 last points. First, to make it clear that the application process is a 2-step process composed of the expression of interest form and the application form. And you need to complete both forms to correctly apply to the business mission. Then the application form is meant to give you the opportunity to showcase your activity in the best way possible. So we really invite you to take your time to properly detail each of the categories. And the application form, you will be requested to share information on your company details, business profile, business activities, international strategy, and participant details. Now I will give the floor to my colleague so she can share some tips and tricks for a successful application and increase your opportunities to be selected for the business mission.
Indeed, thank you so much, Paolo. Thank you so much for the introduction to Smart Energy Week Spring 2026. Now, as we mentioned, we will go into the tips and tricks for a successful application. And I really urge you to pay attention as the successful application is key in order to be selected. Because as Paolo mentioned, the more details we receive, the more personalized the application is, the higher the chances to be selected. So first of all, how to make a successful EOI. EOI, as Paolo said, again, is an expression of interest. And indeed, it is the first step of the application. First of all, you need to show your interest in the business mission. And it is fundamental that you provide as much detail as possible. So you should be as descriptive as you can, as we to understand if your company is a good fit for the program and for the specific business mission. You should we encourage you to reach out to the EU recruitment clusters that we will show at the end, but our program works through clusters or like country-based clusters. So each company based on your company, your country of origin has a cluster, and we encourage you to reach out to them should you have any doubts or any questions during the application or the EOI stage in order to maximize your chances of selection by filling in the form adequately. And also, as Paolo mentioned, we really urge you to ask feedback should you be non-eligible for a business mission, because indeed, we might think that your product, your solution might not be a good fit for the specific business mission, but it doesn't mean that it will not be a good fit for future business missions. Also, it could be that we might think that the company is a bit too recent, a bit too young, but indeed we ask you to also be proactive and reach out to us in order to make sure that we are giving you all the chances to succeed, if not for the specific business missions, but for future business missions. I think we can move on to the next slide. So how to make a successful application. Very similar to what I just explained for an EOI, we do ask you to be also very specific and descriptive in the application stage. So after you are found eligible, you are invited then to make an application, and the application is the formal application to apply to the business mission itself. So with an EOI, you are not fully applying. You need to have this two-step process of an EOI first and then an application to fully be considered as a participant and then evaluated. It is very important for you to provide the information on your company's go-to-market strategy, and especially detailing why you want to choose the specific target markets. Obviously, in this case, we urge you to say in detail why you want to expand to Japan or why you want to further your business in Japan. And if you're applying to a business mission in Korea or in the Republic of Korea, of course, to really target your application to the specific target market, to the specific go-to-market or target audience. In the specifics, there are 3 points that are very important when describing your go-to-market strategy. First of all, the target audience. So what is your target audience? Which kind of companies are you interested in meeting? Are there any specific stakeholders that you've identified? At this stage, we don't ask you for instance, specific names of companies that you would like to meet. But we do ask that you make your own research about what you want to get out of the business mission. So what type of companies you want to meet, what type of stakeholders you are interested in meeting for the first time or in continuing your business relations. Then the competitive edge. So we really ask you to detail what makes your company unique and competitive to other Asian companies or other European companies. Like, why should we really choose you? Why should you come exhibit at Smart Energy Week, for instance. And finally, why this target market? As I was explaining before, why choosing Japan? Why Japan over the Republic of Korea? Do you have if you have for instance, existing business in Japan, it's good that you explain this and you explain why you want to continue this, business venture, or if it is the first time that you're venturing outside of Europe, for instance, or if you're venturing outside your own country, why Japan? So really to provide as many details as possible, also on the company's pricing strategy, and highlight again any key differentiator that the company has with respect to other companies, and why the company should go to Japan, for instance. Obviously, the don'ts are very opposite to what I just said. So avoid any generic description, anything too general about the go-to-market or the internationalization strategy. Don't provide general information on the target audience or on the business activities and profile. We really ask you to ensure that you provide appropriate numbers on the details of your application, because as you will see when you will do the application, we do ask for some numbers for some companies' insights. So for instance, we ask for the number of employees, the revenues, turnover, and similar. So really make sure to take your time to complete these sections as well, and make sure to have coherent numbering across the different sections, because we have encountered in the past applications where the information is misleading or is brought out in the wrong way, and it's very difficult to then assess the application. So we want to give our experts to really we want to give them all the basic information, like all the detailed information as possible, to make an appropriate estimation and appropriate assessment of your company. So in a nutshell, don't be generic, be as descriptive and as detail oriented as you can be. I think we can move on to the next slide. And here we have an example of one of the questions from the application process. The application, of course, you will have multiple questions to answer. And here we are taking an example from the question to provide a short description of your internationalization business strategy, especially with regards to the market target of the business mission of your choosing. Also, again, here, I sound a bit repetitive, but it's very important to stress these factors, as we really want to avoid misassessing you or not giving you the right chance for your company. So in this case, we describe the overarching ambitions of your company and the relevance of the international expansion of your product, of your solution. A specific view of the target market. Why is your product a good fit for Japan? Why is your solution a good fit for the target market? You should provide the detailed rationale behind choosing the specific target market. So if you apply, for instance, to both business missions to Japan and to Korea, of course, the application is going to be the same, but for two different missions. So really specify why one application is for Japan and why one application is for Korea. In the past, we have had applications where the companies mistakenly put one country over the other. And we really want to avoid like stupid mistakes, if I can use the word stupid, but really take the time to go over your application and provide the right details. So in this case, as I mentioned before, for the EOI, but is also applicable to the application, detail the company's product, the company's solution, the company's competitive edge on the market, in the European market, but also in the Japanese market. You need to showcase how the internationalization is key, how you have also, how your internationalization journey is. If you only are trading within European countries, you can explain that, and you can explain what is your strategy behind also expanding to Japan. If you're already international in the sense that you already trade outside of Europe, again, showcase what are the steps you are willing to take to then be successful in Japan. And finally, if relevant, as I mentioned before, describe the company's current involvement abroad, and if you have any lesson learned, something that worked, that you are willing to try again, something that didn't work, and you're working on to change. Also, in this case, you need to avoid any generic description or definition on the international business strategy, because it's something that is very important. Despite of like the breadth of your internationalization strategy, if you only trade with a couple European countries, we don't necessarily care. That is not per se international in the sense that it's outside of Europe, but just really provide the specifics and the details of how you are being successful in the internationalization strategy that you have. Do not provide any specific, I don't know, like, do not provide the why and how behind your ambitions or any specific view, but just, yeah, be as detailed as possible. I don't know, I think we also can move to the next slide. And as I was mentioning before, this is the final slide that we'll have. We are cluster-based organization. So as you will see here, you have different European countries, and each country belongs to a specific cluster. So if you have any questions on the application, on the OIs, or information, you require general information on the program, feel free to reach out to them and also to us, because as we go to the next slide, maybe two slides next, you will be able to see our email address. Yeah, indeed, the support at eubusinesshub.eu. So if you have any questions, you can directly write to us. If you need any information, you feel free to visit our website, so eubusinesshub.eu. We are also active across social media.